I think we are working now. Hopefully, let me know if you can see me. Hello, hello. I am Tammy Masterbirdy, best-selling author of the book The Universe is Talking to You, and the best-selling author of the book The Higher Help Method. And I teach people how to tap into what I call the divine higher helpline of the universe. I think I'm live because I see people here. So hopefully we're working now. Happy to be here. Took a little while, but we should be working. So thank you, technology gods, for assisting us. I am here today to talk about a ritual to manifest love, and also to remind you that if you are not part of the Living an Elevated Existence Summit, I am teaching a live class today at 1 p.m. Eastern on signs and synchronicity, and opening up to signs and synchronicity from the universe, from your angels and guides, from loved ones who have passed on. All of it, I am breaking it all down at 1 p.m. Eastern today as part of that Elevated Existence Summit, which is free to listen to, linked below on YouTube and Facebook, in the bio on Instagram, and that is just elevatedexistencesummit.com. So let's talk about love. I often don't know, I don't really overly plan. I kind of go with where the universe leads me for a lot of these weekly Spirit Boost lives. And I was led to this by actually my own book. Sometimes I will take one of my books. This one was The Universe is Talking to You, actually. And I just kind of open it up like an oracle and say, what should I talk about? And I was brought to me telling the story about finding love. And interestingly enough, in the Higher Help Method, I actually have the ritual, which, if you are watching me on YouTube and Facebook, below is linked a free PDF on the ritual that I'm going to be talking about and that I used to manifest my own husband, that many people have used and reported back to me with amazing results. There's been marriages, including my own, from this ritual. So, that you can get for free, linked below. But I am going to talk to you about it as well. But if you want the step-by-step process that is actually from the Higher Help Method book, you can get that below. But I want to talk about it because I feel like, especially for those of us who live in colder climates in the winter, it's like, okay, we're in March, we're getting close to spring. We're kind of like feeling springy already. And I just feel like, we're coming out of hibernation, and so maybe you are looking at really finding love in your life, or finding your next soulmate in your life. Or if you know somebody who is, tag them in this video so that they can hear me talk about it and they can get that free the free PDF, which is that free ritual. So I created this ritual years ago when I was looking for love myself. I must have been 36, or was I? No, I was already 37, I think, when I first did this ritual. It is based off of a ritual, and I say this in the Higher Help Method. And I don't even know if she calls it a ritual, but it's based off of something that I read in the book The Soulmate Secret by Arielle Ford, which is a great book if you are looking to manifest, if you're specifically looking for love, right? Looking for your next soulmate. Great book. And so she talks about, in that book, she talks about making a list of all of the things that you desire in a soulmate. Not just physical attributes, okay? But all of the things. And so, and then taking that list, making a copy of it and putting it away, but then releasing the list to kind of like to the world, to the universe. And so I took that and I, as I usually do, add my own spin to it, add my own Higher Help Method pieces to it. And I kind of souped it up. I supercharged it, which you'll see if you download that free PDF. So here's what I decided to do. I did it on a new moon. Why on a new moon? and new moons happen every month. So you can Google it when the next new moon is, and you can do it any month you want to do it. I happen to do it in, I believe it was February, because I remember there was snow on the ground and I was literally outside in the snow. But a new moon is really about setting intentions, right? And so with this ritual, you are kind of really doing the entire higher help method, because step one, you're going to get clear on what you want because you're going to be making the list, which I'll talk about in a minute. Step two, you are going to be setting in an intention. Well, no, step one is still setting the intention, but step two is you're going to be asking the universe for help. You are going to be asking it. You are going to be harnessing its energy. You are going to be co-creating with it. Okay. So what you do is you take a piece of paper and you write down all of the attributes that you are looking for in this soulmate. Fine, you can put physical attributes, but don't put a lot of weight on them, okay? But you want to put things like for me, I put loves cats and is not allergic because I am a cat lover. We also have goats now. That wasn't on my list, but okay, I'll take it. And I put things like that because I God forbid I found somebody who was allergic to cats or hated cats. I just couldn't imagine my life without them. Maybe you're a dog lover. Maybe you want someone who loves dogs. I put things like loves me unconditionally. Things like his I love his family and his family loves me, right? We like to travel together. You know, whatever things are important to you that you could picture yourself doing with this soulmate. Maybe you want somebody that can cook. Maybe you want somebody that loves to, go to Broadway shows, if that's something that you like to do. I'm just thinking because I live near New York. Whatever sort of is important to you, in addition to those physical things that I think we all kind of go to, like I want somebody, like I always wanted, the only physical thing I really wanted was somebody taller than me. I don't know why, but that was always my like must have. I just wanted somebody, that's just what I like. I don't know why. It's just my thing. So, and thank God my husband is 6'2" and I'm like 5'2". So that one got checked off, right? So you want to just make a list, but again, just do it like from the heart. Like I want somebody that respects me. I want somebody that listens to me. I want someone who I can love unconditionally, who also loves me unconditionally. Really think about the attributes that you really are looking for in a human being. Okay. And you're going to put all of that down in a list. You're then going to make a copy of that list. So you're going to make a copy of the list and you're going to put it in a drawer somewhere far, whatever. Just put it somewhere for later. And then you're going to take that one copy of the list and we are going to release it to the universe in some way. The way that I did it, you do not have to do it this way, but the way that I did it was I wanted to burn it. And so I said, okay, I'm going to bring it outside. I don't want to start a forest fire in my backyard. So I took an old crock pot, an old slow cooker, right? And I brought it out because, it's stoneware. So I brought it out with a bottle of water in the snow on my back porch at the time. And what you're going to do, and this is all detailed in that free PDF that you can get. This is also, if you have the Higher Help Method book, it's in the Higher Help Method book under the relationship chapter. But what you're going to do is you are going to release this to the universe. I burned it and then just had my little, like my bottle of water next to me. And then I poured it out to make, once it really burned down, I just poured it out. You can do this on paper that can be dissolved. We know now that you can find dissolvable. I don't even know if it had existed 10 years ago, but, or over 10 years ago. There's dissolvable paper that you can get on Amazon. So maybe you do that and then you take a bucket of water and you dissolve it in the bucket of water and then you pour it out into the earth, right? That's something that you can definitely do as well. You can rip it up, and if you really don't want to burn or whatever, you can throw it into the garbage, however you want to release it. So you want to release it to the universe and call in your higher helpers to assist you. So, and again, I have a whole prayer with the actual ritual, but you would call in like Archangel Shamuel, who helps you find anything, friendships, love, your keys that are lost, right? So you're going to call in him. His counterpart, or twin flame, is Archangel Charity. So there's a lot of different people that we can call in specifically to assist us in drawing this person into our life. And we are going to ask to be sent the signs, the synchronicities, to line it up to draw this person in. I also want you to do the ritual with a rose quartz crystal, because I'm all about harnessing the energy of the universe and then taking that energy with you. So what you're going to do is, I'll show you. I actually happen to have on my desk next to a picture of my husband and I, a very small rose quartz heart. So I like a heart shape. When I had years ago, when I was looking for a soulmate, I had multiple of these on my bedside. Big one too that I think is now in my meditation room. But rose quartz attracts love, opens your heart, heals the heart, all of that. So if you can find any type of rose quartz, it doesn't have to be a heart, but I like the heart for the symbol of love, because we are specifically looking for love, right? So I'm just showing Instagram as well. So get yourself that rose quartz crystal. You're going to take that out with you. You are going to cleanse that crystal beforehand. I don't care how you cleanse it. You can do smoke clearing with incense, sage bundles, Palo Santo. There's cleansing sprays that you can get. However you want to clear it, sit it on a selenite wand or a piece of selenite overnight, whatever you want to do. But you're going to cleanse it beforehand, and then you're going to program that crystal. You're going to hold it in your hands. And again, I would suggest doing it on a new moon. So you're out there in the moonlight on the new moon where you're setting your intention, and you're holding that crystal in your hand, and you are going to command or program that crystal to help you draw love into your life. After you do this whole ceremony, you're going to take that rose quartz crystal and you are going to set it on your nightstand or somewhere next to your bed, so that it is there and it is sort of working for you. You can also program multiple, and put one of those rose quartz hearts in the romantic love relationship section of the home, according to the Feng Shui Bagua, which is basically an energy map of your home. So when you walk through the front door of your home, if you sort of magically lay the map over with, this is the front door of my home, and I'm laying the map over it, as I'm walking in the front door, the far right corner of the home, doesn't matter what floor, but the far right corner of the home is where the romance and relationship sector is. So you can place one next to your bed, and you can place one in that feng shui sector. Okay. So, and then you're going to just trust the universe that it's working on it. Now, obviously there's many other things that you can do that I have in the Higher Help Method under relationships, gratitude exercises, shifting of your energy while you're waiting, right? There's always things that we can be doing to manage our own energy, and align ourselves, but you're going to let it go. Okay. I know it's hard. Let it go. When I did it, it was, like I said, I think it was in February of the year that I met my husband. And I wound up meeting him in October of that year. I believe October was when a friend of mine, synchronistically, a friend of mine who had been working at a job for over a year, went out to like a company event. Don't mind my cat's tail. Went out to a company event and was just talking to one of the guys that she works with. And he was talking about his wife's friend, or his wife's best friend who is single, blah, blah, blah. And so she says to him, "Oh, would you have a picture?" And so he shows her a picture, and then she shows him a picture. And then all of a sudden I get a picture in my text message saying, "Hey, want to meet this guy. And I was like, what? Who is this guy? Where is this coming from? And that's basically how it started. Now, of course, my Virgo mind, I was like, let me think about it. I don't know, whatever. And then I was like, you know what, Tammy, at the time I had really actually, as an aside, made the decision that I really wanted to try and find love. And I was actively working on it. Like I had put myself on to dating sites and stuff like that, or I was just about to put myself on, something like that. And I took the weekend and finally said, all right, give him my phone number. And that was it. And I took myself off of all the dating sites that I didn't even need to do. But you know what? Putting myself on those sites showed the universe, I'm ready, I'm open, let's go. Right? So the funny thing is, remember I told you to write the list and then make a separate list and then hide that list somewhere or put that list off somewhere? Almost every item on that list was my husband. And all of the important ones were covered. So I started telling people, like, and I would tell my husband, I told his family, like, I manifested him in a crock pot. Okay. And he was like, at this point, he was used to, he knew my situation. He was like, oh, great. He was like, it didn't even faze him. He was like, okay, great. But I started telling other people about it and giving it to other people, right? This is way before the Higher Help Method book came out last year. Like I was just saying like, oh, here's what I did. Here's what you should try. And people were doing it. And then it was working, right? Different time frames. One person did it, and in a month, she met the person, and they just recently got married. But here's what this ritual does. It checks off all the boxes. It gets you super clear. Here's the type of person I want, right? It asks the universe for help. It sets your intention. It utilizes and harnesses the energy of the universe with that crystal, with the calling in the higher helpers, with activating that energy, with doing the ritual to release it. It checks off all of these boxes. Your only job then is to manage your energy, keep yourself focused on the fact that this person is coming. And again, there's exercises in the Higher Help Method about like focusing on gratitude and how you can specifically use that gratitude around a relationship that is not here yet, because you can do that, right? So there's exercises that you can do for that. So it took me 8 months. That's where, and there's been people that it's been a year, whatever, right? But that's where the divine timing comes in. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear about divine timing, but I always say when I did that ritual, when I first did the ritual in February, he was still married, my husband. He was ending his relationship at that time. He then went through the whole summer himself on dating sites trying to find someone, and then realized, you know what? I'm all right if it's just like, if I'm not, he had a son at the time. When I met him, he was only 3.5. And he was like, you know what? I'm good. And he just was done himself trying to find something, and he had sort of surrendered it. And boom, he got my picture one night and was like, oh yeah, I'll meet her. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll meet him. And then we went out to dinner, and that was the first time. If you ask my sister, if you ever see my sister, or if she's ever on here, because she watches my stuff sometimes, it was the first time in years that I went out on a date and called her afterwards, because she was so excited. She couldn't wait for me to find somebody. At this point, she was married, had kids. She's like, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? And it was the first time that I left a date. And she said to me, so did you like him? And I said, yeah, I had a good time. And she said, would you go out with him again? And it was like the first time I said, yeah, I think I would go out with him again. And she was like, oh, no, are you serious? Because I was the type of picky person that would go out with somebody and say, no, I didn't like this, or no, I didn't like that. There was one guy that I years ago, this was years ago, that like, he always wore a hat. And I was like, I don't trust him, because what does he look like without the hat? I'm just saying. So I was always just, I don't know. For me, I needed that click. I needed that connection. I needed for me not to find something wrong. And so I liked him. And so it actually was a little while before we went out on a second date because I think he was sick and then I was sick. We stayed in touch. But then by the second date, I was like, oh no, I really think I like this guy. And we were talking in between. And that was that. And so I love this ritual because it has not just worked for me, but it has worked for so many people. And again, The Soulmate Secret is an amazing book, which is where I got that writing down and releasing it from. But of course, I added in the crystal and I added in calling in higher helpers. And then there's all those other pieces of like aligning your energy and keeping your energy open and trusting in the timing, trusting in the timing. But this ritual gets you super clear and it activates the power of the universe. It says, hey, universe, I really am ready. Here's what I want or something better, right? Here's what I want or something better. I'm ready. Let's go. Start working on my behalf. And it starts the wheels turning. It starts everything moving. It lets the universe know you're serious. It gets you very set on an intention and on what you are desiring, right? And it just works on so many different levels. And it's just been so much fun to hear stories of people who have used it and had the same results, right? Because when I used it and it worked for me, I thought, this is so cool. I can't believe this really worked. And again, it's going back to that original list and being like, oh wow, like this is like pretty dead on, right? And so then hearing how it worked for so many other people, that's why it went into the Higher Help Method book. So I wanted to share that with you again. If you know somebody that is trying to manifest love, send them this video, tell them to try this ritual. It is spring. Wait for the next new moon, make your list and all of that, but hang on, wait for the next new moon. I actually did, I'm trying to remember if I did my list the night before, if I did my list the night of. I might have done everything on the new moon. I've had people not do it on the new moon. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. But for me, I did it on the new moon because, again, it's that harnessing the energy of the universe. The new moon is an energy available to us to set these intentions and let them go. So it's just another piece of harnessing that energy. So I wanted to come on here and share that with you because, again, it's spring. It's like it's starting to get warmer. Everybody's like excited to go outside. Of course, for those of you in Florida or California or those warmer states, it's sort of the weather's the same. Although I've heard in Florida it's been like unseasonably cold. So hopefully you guys are warming up as well. And I just thought it would be good timing, and the universe kind of pointed me in the direction of it. So that's why I wanted to come on here and add that in and give that all to everybody and give you that free resource as well. And then if you want more, the Higher Help Method book gives you a whole chapter and gratitude exercises that you can do and so many different things, and other additional prayers and all of that. But I give you in that free PDF the step-by-step, the prayers, the how to program the crystal, all of that. You get all of it. So you can just hit the ground running on the next new moon if that's something that you're looking to do. Now, I, once again, am going to be live very soon in the Living an Elevated Existence Summit, teaching a class on all about signs and synchronicity and opening up to those signs and synchronistic events in your life. How I met my husband was very synchronistically because, again, it was through this friend at the time when I was just starting to look for love, and I had done the ritual and asked for all of the signs and the connections, and I talk about that in my first book, but then I actually give you the ritual in the second book. So I'm going to be teaching all about opening up to signs and synchronicity. We're going to do an exercise to actually get a sign in the next few days. So it's going to be fun. If you are not already part of it, it's free. It's free, free, free. ElevatedExistenceSummit.com, and it started in January, but it runs through the end of April, if you include like the replays and stuff like that. But we actually have a longer summit this year because I have additional people that came in, or additional people that we added in at the end. So we'll be live through like mid-April. But if you missed anything, we will do replays and all of that so you can catch the things you missed. And we only do 2 live interviews a week. It's not like those summits where you cram everything in. So you actually can watch things and process them and see things that you missed and all of that. So that is going to be, oh my gosh, in about 20 minutes, I'll be live doing that with everybody. Let me just say, yes, Nancy, I put that too. Thank you, Nancy. So on my list, you guys, on my list, one of the things was open to my spiritual beliefs. So Nancy wrote, for those of you who can't see on Facebook, someone that is open to my spiritual beliefs and metaphysical beliefs. That was a non-negotiable for me. I could not be in a relationship with someone that had like a strict religious background. They would think I had lost my mind, right? Like that was not going to work. I grew up Catholic. My husband grew up Catholic, but my husband was super open. Like our first conversation that we ever had on the phone, he talked to me about how like he was fascinated by paranormal and psychic things, and that he used to play psychic games with cards when he was younger. And I was like, oh man, he's like, there. So yes, if you are on a spiritual path, do not forget to put that down, especially if it is important to you. You don't need to have somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have somebody that like goes to classes with you and is all in on everything, right? You just want somebody who's open and accepting of what you believe. And that's what I asked for. And luckily, my husband is extremely open to it, has taken, classes with me, and has even attended the classes that I teach and been like at awe in some of the things that he has learned. So yes, yes, and yes. Thank you for adding that in. That is super important, I think, for anybody that is on a spiritual path and you're trying to find someone to connect with you. Stephanie said, the past 2 days, I've been listening to my pastor speak about finding love and your soulmate. And now Stephanie, this is a sign for you because everything is coming together. So what this means to me is the universe is saying to you, you need to actively start moving in that direction. You need to actively start asking for help, paying attention, noticing what's happening, that this is going to be this is something that's going to come through to you. So it is no accident that you saw me talking about this and that you just heard that from someone else. Like that is a huge confirmation. And I'm going to be talking about this at 1:00 on my Signs and Synchronicity class. When you see things repeating for you, the universe is trying to get your attention. When you see repetition of a topic, a book, an author, a doctor, a whatever, the universe is trying to get your attention and wake you up to something. So to me, that means the universe wants you to start focusing on this and paying attention to this, and that the time is right to do it. That's awesome. I love, love, love that. Oh yeah, you're going to be there at 1 p.m. That's awesome. But yes, that's what the universe, the universe, it sends us signs to encourage us, to keep us going, to let us know, hey, I hear you, keep moving forward, to wake us up to something that we were not paying any attention to, right? So there's reassurance, there's waking us up, there's all of that. When I was, before I met my husband, I used to always hear the song on the radio. And I know this was partly my mother. I know it was my mother. Because she passed on when I was 22 and I met my husband at like 37, 38. But that song by Michael Bublé, I Just Haven't Met You Yet. I don't know if that's the name. I think that's the name. But it's talking all about like, I know things are going to be amazing and, we're going to get along and everything's going to be wonderful. I just haven't met you yet. And so I would hear this song all the time and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like I haven't met him yet, but he's coming. He's coming. He's coming. And every time I heard it, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, I know he's coming, but I don't, he's not here yet. For years, I would hear this song on the radio all the time, like way past the time that it was popular. I would just randomly hear it. I would hear it in stores. I had it to the point that like friends would hear it and be like, oh my God, I heard that song and blah, blah, blah. I swear to you, once I met my husband, I never heard the song again. I never heard the song again. And that was the universe encouraging me, reassuring me, saying, he's coming, he's coming. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. He's just not here yet. Okay. That was the encouragement. So I would hear it and I go, all right, I know he's coming. He's coming. You know what I mean? And then he came and I didn't have to hear the song anymore. So that's sort of how it worked. But anyway, we'll talk way more about that at 1:00, elevatedexistence.summit.com. I am going to go get ready for that. It's one of my favorite topics to teach on. So it is going to be fun and exciting. And again, you will be asking for a sign and getting that sign. So join me there. In the meantime, if you are looking for love, download that free PDF. If you know someone who is looking for love, send them the link to this video, and have them try it. It can't hurt, right? Nothing, doing a little ritual, asking for some help will never hurt you. So have an amazing and wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me here. Please like the video if you are enjoying what I am saying on your way out. And also, as I always leave you with, do something this weekend that brings you joy. It is a weekend. It's going to be a beautiful, I think, warmer weekend here in New Jersey, which I'm excited about. So have a wonderful weekend. Do something that brings you joy. I don't care how big or how small. You're going to do it for yourself because A, you deserve it, and B, it will shoot your vibration up and make you feel good. And you deserve to feel good this weekend as spring is hopefully on the way. And hopefully for many of you, love is on the way as well. Please, if you use this ritual, email me back and let me know, because I love to hear, even if it's a year from now, when you do it and then you look at your list, you're going to email me or find me on social media and let me know what happens and how it works, because I love to hear the stories. I love to hear the stories about signs you've got. I love to hear the stories about things that have worked for you. So let me know. But until next time, have an amazing, wonderful, joy-filled weekend. And I will meet you back here next Thursday at noon Eastern. Bye, everyone.